ever had a dream so big that it seems perpetually out of reach? Like, even if you believe in it, even if you know and you're working towards it every day, it's always out there in the distance, like this beautiful thing that's beckoning you. And you feel like a seedling growing towards that dream. What if the dream is actually already happening? Instead of being a destination, maybe it's the process itself. I always say life is a dance for which we write the music. Maybe the dream is building you. I had a really amazing, beautiful dream, and it wasn't while I was sleeping. When I was about 12 years old, I was sitting in my room and I was really upset because my family had moved to another town and I didn't really have a place to dance anymore. I mean, my parents went to all lengths. My mom drove me to San Francisco every weekend. They, did everything to support me, and I'm so lucky for that. But I remember just feeling like I had lost my dream, lost my passion, lost my way. And in that moment, I was 12 years old and I had this download, Gesamtkunstwerk. Now, mind you, yes, I was born in Austria, and yes, I technically grew up bilingual, but at 12, I was full-on California girl. I didn't even know what a Gesamtkunstwerk was. But I had this vision. I had this dream, this waking dream about a total work of art with dance and music, like a village. And this dream, I didn't understand it yet, at that time. But it has guided me throughout my entire life. It's just always been there in the background. I knew and I know that that's what I've been working towards my whole life, but it didn't always make sense. I've had a crazy life story. Then I moved to New York City. I danced at the Metropolitan Opera with amazing choreographers. I sang in a cappella choruses and solo works and toured Europe and led all kinds of nonprofit organizations in the arts and media, journalism, worked in foreign policy, like all these things, and then I decided to kind of uproot everything because I needed a change. And so we moved our entire family to Mexico. And then in Mexico, I finally created my first Gesamtkunstwerk. It was called the Gypsy Caravan. I wrote the music. I started writing my opera. I don't know if it's really an opera or more like musical theater, or I'm not really sure what to call it. It doesn't fit the typical designations that we have. I choreographed the dancers. We collaborated, and we sewed the costumes together. We built the sets. We painted everything. We went on tour, and it was that vibe that we created. It was really so beautiful. And then I came to Vienna, and a lot of you know the backstory, but I wound up in fitness and wellness, and I love it so much. But I quit my job. I resigned from John Reed, not because I don't love it, but because that dream began pulling on me again. That dream that I need something more. It's time for the next chapter. I was talking to a mutual friend, and he has a vineyard and olive groves. And I said, oh my God, I have always wanted to learn how to make wine. I've always wanted to learn the traditional ways of like making oils. You know, as a wellness person, I love essential oils and flowers and body work and cooking food. You know, I'm a kitchen witch as well. Kitchen witch, garden witch, whatever, witch. Um, and it just made me think about this dream because, you know, my friend invited me to come to their festival at the end of August, the Stomping of the Grapes. And I said, oh my God, I'm in. I am so in. I'm going to stomp the grapes. I'm going to dance. I'm going to learn everything. And, you know, to somebody from the outside who doesn't know me might think, what the hell is this girl doing? Like, she's all over the place. But I have a point. When I stop and I look backwards, I realize I have been building the village my entire life. So what is the village? The Gesamtkunstwerk. It's a performance space. It's a place where people come together, where we have wellness, fitness, yoga, dance, live performances. We have gardens. We live together. I mean, maybe not together, but we live in a community, you know? Music festivals, DJs. This is what I have been seeing since I was 12 years old. Choreographing, singing, dancing, sharing, coming together, creating, building a real human community. And it's interesting because it brought me to this question. Perhaps the dream has actually been showing me the way the whole time. I never thought for 1 second when I was dancing at the Met that I was preparing for the village, this 12-year-old girl's dream. I never thought for 1 second that when I was in Mexico, I was learning and experimenting with building that tribe, my own performance group, immersive experiences. I never thought that when I started at John Reed, I would be immersing myself in the structures and the operations and the real day-to-day of managing a wellness center. And I never thought that my excitement about stomping the grapes would actually lead to being able to understand the whole of the village. Will I go to Italy? I don't know. Time will tell. But my point was that somehow, sometimes, if we just, it's not about chasing the dream. It's about letting the dream guide us and trusting in the divine feminine way, in the flow way. Because every time I tried to develop a strategic plan for the village, it just felt wrong and it didn't move forward. But when I just trusted and just follow the path, it seems like each step presents itself. And that's what my song was about. Maiden moon, manifest dreams as I tread the tender seams, walking gently between dark and light. Carry the torch into the night. Cast away the old from the new. Sow together what follows through. May the seeds of dreams unfurl as I proudly walk this world. So mote it be.